for more, let's bring in Professor Sultan Barakat. He's a renowned scholar and an expert in conflict management, recovery, and transition. Professor, welcome to the program. Well, it sounds like Israel is not going to open Rafah border crossing until Sunday, and even then, aid and all these convoys will not be allowed in. It's only for foot traffic. It's only open for movement of people under strict Israeli inspection at that. How problematic is that going to be?
Well, clearly it's not going to help. It's the crossing should have been opened a while ago in accordance with the agreement and the ceasefire. But the Israelis have dragged their feet and they delayed the opening for a while, insisting that they should receive all the dead bodies of all the hostages. And now they received the last soldier. They're now engaging in a discussion with the international community, suggesting that they will open it. But there hasn't actually been any details as to the nature of the movement that will be allowed. Is it going to be only one way? Would people be allowed to return back to reunite with their families in Gaza? It's not quite clear. Without allowing humanitarian assistance to come in from Egypt into Gaza directly, nothing will happen in terms of reducing the pressure on the Palestinian population at the moment. Israel is not allowing sufficient aid from its own borders, and really Rafah is the only crossing that can allow mass aid to come into the territory. And in any case, Israel should not be in control of that Rafah crossing. They took the control as a result of this war. But before that, from 2005 until the 7th of October, it was jointly controlled between Egypt, the Palestinian administration, and the European Union. And I suspect now it is time for the European Union to be invited back to be part of the management, because if it stays in the hands of Israel, it will be using it to put additional pressure on the Palestinians. It will be using it politically. It will, I think, restrict the number of people allowed back into the Gaza Strip and encourage as many people from the Gaza Strip to leave under pressure from the Israelis.
And because I have so many more questions I want to ask you. First of all, we've heard how Palestinians have described the Rafah border crossing as more than just a crossing. This is considered a lifeline. Explain the significance of this crossing and why all these aid trucks waiting to get in from Egypt could perhaps Kerem Shalom crossing be used, as the Israelis have suggested, to get aid into Gaza?
Well, in terms of scale, it's just impossible. What the Israelis do on their border makes it very, very difficult to bring the required amount of aid into Gaza, particularly now that they move into phases of reconstruction. Egypt has been, in effect, the lifeline for Gaza since 2005, since Sharon withdrew the settlements from Gaza. And they have established patterns. There are logistics already in place. There are families who live on both sides of the border, Palestinian families, Egyptian families who have some of their relatives live across the border. So it's an integral part of the relationship between the Gaza Strip and Egypt. And as you know, Gazans cannot move into Israel. They cannot use Israeli airport to travel around the world. They cannot cross from Israel to a third country, while they can do so from Egypt. So it's critical for the Palestinians.
To talk about this fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas that was reached in October, Palestinians have accused Israel of repeated violations despite that fragile truce. At least 4 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza just in recent days, Professor.
Well, in fact, more than 480 Palestinians have been killed.
Well, I'm just talking about the last several days.
The ceasefire, yeah. On the day Trump signed the Board of Peace charter, 4 were killed on that very day. And every day, I think more civilians are being killed. Israel continues to insist that its security comes first. There is no real value for a Palestinian life, and they will do whatever they need to do in order to guarantee that. And although they've agreed for a ceasefire, they see it as within their power to ensure that the Palestinians will not be able to resist in any form. And they're implementing very much the strategy that they're using in South Lebanon. You know, there's a ceasefire agreed in South Lebanon, but they continue to attack Hezbollah to prevent any possibility of them building up a force against Israel.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Professor Sultan Barakat, thank you.